Hey, Alpha fam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, I'm going to go over Zilliqa and Bitcoin. Of course, Zilliqa did have a pretty good pump along with some of these other coins on the crypto chart here. But let's just go straight to the chart and see what we're dealing with. Of course, Zilliqa has been in this falling wedge formation. These do have a tendency to break to the upside. And if we were to take some type of a measured move, maybe we could squeeze something all the way up to 5 cents, but that would really be ambitious in the current market downtrend. And so we do see that we do have the 200 EMA on the daily right above our heads, but we do have resistance, heavy resistance around here around 4 cents, that EMA around 3 cents. So, guys, it's not going to be easy for Zilliqa to keep pushing, but there is the possibility that it could do just based upon these measured moves. That it could do that. And let's go ahead and just take a look at what Zilliqa has as its key levels to watch on the 12-hour chart, which will be closing in 1 hour and 15 minutes. So, guys, let's go ahead and just zoom in here. And what you can see is that on the 12-hour chart that we are underneath our volatility pivot, and that isn't a good thing necessarily, because if there is a volatility push, bias is likely to be to the downside, and that's not necessarily what you want to see happening. Should we have a volatility push? Okay, so there is a risk to the downside here. Now, one thing that Zilliqa does have in its favor on the 12-hour is that it is holding above this key level of 2.3 cents here, and as long as we're above that key level, we are going to maintain our momentum to the upside above this alpha momentum pool. Guys, the critical level where we do start losing significant amount of momentum and could even, turn the ship around is if we do lose 2.1 cents. Underneath 2.1 cents, then we're going to lose not only, our critical momentum, but also we're going to lose it in buckets and maybe even have a bearish perspective. But we do have plenty of range to play with. The 9 EMA is down at that level of 2.1 cents, and we are just playing with the 4 EMA right now. Being on top of both of those is fairly bullish, guys. So I am not bearish on this asset based upon this 12-hour chart, which is closing in an hour and 12 minutes. Again, if we hold our current momentum, we do still have the likelihood of trying again to recover that volatility pivot. But if we do lose 2.35 cents, then we are in danger of just testing this type of area down here, or just swimming down in the momentum pool where we may be at risk. Guys, let's go ahead and throw on the daily, because the daily does give us considerably more range to play with. And let me take off the 12-hour. My momentum pool did get moved around there. Let's go to the daily instead of the 12-hour. Here we go. Yeah, as you can see, that range, that momentum pool, that alpha momentum pool is huge because of just how much we have spiked up. That does mean that we have, whenever you spike up dramatically, you always have the potential to fall dramatically. But in this case, if you look at the daily for Zilliqa, we are well above the volatility pivot. So the daily does close in 13 hours. It means we have 13 hours to maintain, some distance above the volatility pivot, and also to hold our current momentum level at 2.35 cents. That volatility pivot will shift at 2.2 cents, and we are going to have a sense of general continuation as long as we are above 1.9 cents, where we do have that 21 EMA on the daily. If I did have to guess, that if we did break under that, current momentum and the volatility pivot, maybe we would come down to 2 cents area and retest this breakout of the wedge that we were talking about in the beginning of the episode there, if we do break under 1.9 cents, we will start to break things on the chart and maybe even fall back into this wedge. And underneath 1.7 cents, I'm going to be a bit worried that that was a fake out to the upside and maybe this chart would break down. But right now we are just hanging out there. You can see on the daily we do have the 200 EMA at about 3.2 cents. So again, that is within striking distance should we have a volatility push on the daily. In terms of the 12-hour, 12-hour isn't as confident as the daily. But of course, there could always be short-term pullbacks on maybe like a 4-hour or something like that, a 12-hour, 4-hour, which then may just lead into just a bullish continuation. So, guys, for Zilliqa, still looking bullish, but we are looking a little bit toppy, a little bit overdriven to the upside, and maybe it's going to be time to just consolidate a little bit. We'll find out. Of course, these levels are in play when we have a close of those time frames. So we're waiting for the 12-hour to close. We're waiting for the daily to close in order to see, are we above these critical lines or are we below them? That's Zilliqa for you. Let's jump over to Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin on the, let's go to the 12-hour is still, fairly bullishly postured. I mean, I was talking to some guys and they were saying that they thought that there was going to be a pullback. I really was not sure about that. Yeah, we had a little bit of one, but this structure is very bullish in my mind. And I do think that we could have a target up here at 18,000 just looking at this range. Now, there's no guarantee of that. We are still just making lower highs, but we are making higher lows. And so, at least on the 12-hour, we are having a pretty nice look to this structure. And guys, let's go ahead and put on our key price levels to watch on the 12-hour. You can see that we are just squeaking by above our volatility pivot for the 12-hour. So this does suggest that as long as we can hold on to this level, maybe we could get another pump. That level is 17,265. We will need to maintain above 17,178 just to have a confident posture. Underneath there, we start to lose momentum in this alpha momentum pool, and we will start to break things around $17,063. And I would turn a bearish on the 12-hour chart if we were underneath $17,050, where that is the area of our 9 EMA. We also have this naked candle. We could wick down here, just grab some liquidity, and then continue on our way. But let's go ahead and go to the daily chart, which does give us a little bit more room. And you can see that we do have a little bit more of a bullish posture on the daily chart. So not only do we get more room for a pullback, but we also have more leniency for bullishness to the upside. And so the daily, which closes in let's go ahead and jump over. I believe it's 13 hours. Yep, which closes in 13 hours. Will in fact be highly likely to be bullish unless we breach the level of 17,144, where we're going to have a little bias to the downside. We are going to maintain our current momentum even if we retrace to 17,178. We don't start breaking things on the daily until we get to approximately 16,912, where we will have lost a significant chunk of momentum. And underneath 16,909, I do feel that we would be more biased to the downside, maybe to retest our lows or whatnot, and this move may have been over and just try again later or something. But guys, right now it's looking pretty good. So that is your Bitcoin update along with Zilliqa altcoin, one of those coins that have just popped off and kind of surprised a lot of people who have just been so bearish. But guys, we are absolutely killing it here in the Alpha Commission. If we are talking about Zilliqa, I did help guide a few members up the last two legs of the Zilliqa pump, where we did get approximately 15 to 25 percent gains off of that just by going over it. So if you haven't had a chance to visit the group, please take a look at the link in the description of this video. Hop on over to the Discord and let's have some chats while we have this bullish structure on the charts, because hey, maybe you can make some money. Guys, that is your alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.